So this video is going to be another rendition of What's in My Stash, which is a little series that I have started that is all about me going into my stash fabrics, finding something that I want to use, and then making something out of it. Because I don't know about y'all, but I have a huge problem with just collecting fabric, and then sometimes I'll buy things with a specific idea in mind, and sometimes I just love the fabric so much that I have to have it, and then I don't know what I'm going to use it for. So this series is meant to challenge me to actually use the things that I buy. So normally I already have an idea picked out when I set out to make one of these videos, but I actually didn't know what I was going to do this time around. So at the beginning of this video, I'm actually going to have y'all go with me on my journey of how I pick things. This isn't always how it goes, but if I'm ever like lacking inspiration, this is a good way to get my mind jogged, to get the creativity flowing, think about what I have and how I want to use it and what makes sense for me. So that'll be kind of the first part of the video, and then it'll be just showing you how I make the project that I pick. So just want to let y'all know, I do mention Halloween at the beginning of this video because I did begin filming this in November. So that is why I mention Halloween, because I filmed it right after Halloween. So this is a new episode of What's in My Stash, and let's see what we end up making. Okay, so the Halloween season is officially over, and this was a very big, very successful Halloween for me. I made 2 really ambitious costumes, and I was very happy with both of them. So yeah, really good Halloween season, and now that we've gotten through it, I don't really know what I want to make right now. I'm kind of stumped as to what I feel inspired by. And I'd like to try something. I know I just got done making 2 like pretty ambitious projects, but I kind of want to do something to challenge myself. So I'm gonna look through, these are all of my patterns that I have. I'm gonna look through, see if I can find a couple options of things that are making me feel inspired to try them. Once I have a couple options, then we'll look at the fabric and just see what I have, because I have a lot of things I just have completely forgotten about, or it just doesn't click because I don't have a project for it. So let's kind of get started there. I might check in with my iPad and see if there's something on Pinterest that's like inspiring me too, but let's see what I have here. Okay, I took a look through what I have, and I have it narrowed down, and I think I've already narrowed it down even further, but let me show y'all what I picked out. So I picked out, first and foremost, this guy. And I think I already know I don't want to use this one just because it's pretty simple. It doesn't feel super inspiring to me, so I think this one's already out of the running, but I did pick that one. I also picked this one. And again, I think this is also out of the running because it's just, again, a little too simple. I just don't feel super inspired. We have some better options in here. So I think that one's also out. Next up, we have this guy, which this, I think I am going to look for some fabric that will work for one of these corsets, but that will probably be a separate project. I'm trying to get in a flow of making corsets, so I would just want to keep making more so I keep getting better and better at it. So I think I want to do this for a different thing, but we'll keep that over there just to keep it in mind as we look. And then I think these, it's going to be between, I think these 2, but let's see. This guy. I mean, I think this is maybe the most difficult pattern I probably have. So this is probably going to be the winner if I can find fabric that will work for it. And then the other option I have is a self-drafted pattern that I made a while back, and this is for a cowl back dress. I've used this pattern before. It's fairly simple, but I would want to do some pretty big changes to it. I would want to add some godets, change the neckline. The only problem is that I already know what fabric I would use for this, and it is the green left over from the goblin that I literally just did. So even though I have a strong idea for that, I just use that fabric, and that feels kind of boring to me. So let's see what fabric we have going on. Okay, we've run into a little bit of a problem here. So I don't need that much yardage for the bodice, but then I totally missed how much I need for the skirt, and I need 10 yards for the skirt on this. I'm gonna take a second pass through the patterns I had picked out because I do want to try this one, but it seems like I'm gonna have to set it aside and like make decisions about the fabrics and like purchase things for this. Let's kind of scrap this and go in a different direction. Okay, so after reassessing, I think I've come up with a couple of plans here. So I still want to try and tackle this corset pattern. So I have a separate idea for this. I'm gonna make a little outfit that's like a full look all together. It's gonna be kind of like Rococo does Y2K sort of situation, but this will be in a different video. So sorry to tease that, but that will be another video. And then I was thinking about it. I know I just used both these fabrics. This is a little bit that's left over from my butterfly costume, and this is what's left over from my poppy costume. But I think it would be really cool to make kind of like a slinky bias cut sort of swamp-esque situation. Like I said, I want to make changes to the bias cut pattern that I previously made. So I think that it's sort of fitting, even though I did just use these, it's sort of fitting that I'm making like a Halloween leftovers dress because it is from both of the looks put together. So we're gonna see how this goes. That will be what I tackle in this particular video. So I'm gonna actually pull out the dress I previously made, kind of take a look at it and see how I wanna go about changing it. And then once I have that sort of figured out, then we're gonna make all the pattern changes. For my new design, I need to split the pattern into a bodice and a skirt. So to start off, I'm going to start by tracing out both the front and the back piece of the pattern. And these pattern pieces were so huge that I had to get specialty paper that was big enough to fit both of them. Once I found the right paper, I laid everything out and traced them. And then now I have these new blanks that I can start from to make edits to. My first step in separating the bodice from the skirt is to roughly mark where the hip starts to flare out into the skirt piece. And then for the front, I am sloping that up so it has a slight curve upward from the middle. And I'm using my tailoring curve to mark that. And then my next step will be to take the skirt piece that I just created and I want to split that into 3 pieces. So the lines that I'm drawing here will be where the godets are going to go. And then I'm also going to take the actual pattern pieces and do slash and spread to make them more full on the bottom. And for the back piece, I'm repeating all those same steps, except for I want the seam that connects the bodice to the skirt to curve down from the center instead of up. And as a final step for the skirt, after making all the adjustments, I'm going to cut out my godets. And these patterns are pretty easy to make. You just need to measure how long you want them to be. And it's just a basic triangle. So it's however long it needs to be and then however wide you want it to be at the bottom. And as one final change before we start cutting out our fabric, I'm going to switch the neckline of this dress. It's currently like a high crew neck and I want to switch it to a V-neck instead. So this is as simple as measuring down from the center how deep you want the V to be and then drawing a straight line from the shoulder point down to that new point. Because the godets are a sheer material, normally you would press these seams open to make them nice and flat on the outside, but instead I'm pressing everything over to the fabric that is the more opaque fabric, so hopefully you don't see the seams at all, and this gave it a really, really nice finish on the bottom. As a finishing touch, I wanted to make some little flounces out of the last little bit of the sheer material that I had left, and so I started by cutting out a sort of round shape and then cutting a spiral, trying to keep it all the same thickness as I went around. I was just kind of going with the flow here. There's no like real rhyme or reason. You could make a pattern if you wanted to make flounces, but I figured I would just kind of freestyle and see what happened, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. After letting the dress hang for about 24 hours, I'm finally ready to hem it. So I'm gonna do just a little micro hem on the bottom, which includes folding it over once, sewing a straight line, then I go through with my scissors and cut off any excess, and then you fold it over again and sew it. And this just gives a really beautiful finish to the bottom of bias cut things. Okay, so to put a period on the end of the sentence, give some final wrapping up comments about this particular item, I would say that the pattern making process was really, really good practice. This is definitely the most maybe not complex, but just like a lot of parts that had to be adjusted for what I was looking for. So it was really, really good practice. I just continue to try to be better at making things on the bias. That's something that I'm very drawn to, and so I want to get that part of it right. So I'll keep trying. Overall, I would give this dress like a B+. I mean, it's pretty. Green's not my color, so it's hard for me because I think if this were any other color, I'd be a lot happier with it, but this was all about using stash fabrics, and I'm really glad that I used up what I had left of that green because I don't know what else I would have used it for. So that I think might be throwing me off. Something else is that I don't know what's going on here. This front fits just fine. This one gaps so bad right here, and I can't get it to be smooth unless I like pull really hard right here. So something did not go right on this side, which I don't fully understand what I did wrong. I don't know if I need to adjust. There is a dart here. I don't know if I need to continue to adjust this dart, but I'm not sure. This just gaps, and I'm not sure why. I would like to fix that probably at some point in the future, but it's not on my priority list at this moment in time. So super happy with the process. I feel like I learned a lot, and I mean, the dress is pretty. I just, always striving to be better. So overall, learned a lot, happy with it. I may end up selling this. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. But if someone else could get some good use out of it, that would make me really happy. So there is a chance I might sell this later down the line. But for right now, I'm going to continue to think about how I would style it for myself and think about how it would fit into my personal wardrobe. So I know there was a lot of it was mostly just like a pattern video. It wasn't mostly about sewing. It was more about how to do like pattern adjustments. So if you have any questions about that or anything that has to do with the process of this, I'm happy to answer them, and I will see y'all on the next one. Bye.